Say, you got a great eye.
Why, thank you.
Not that one, the other one.
Huh? Oh.
Let's talk about eye dominance. Hi everybody, it's Benjie. I am a nightlife and culture and events and cultural events photographer here in Baltimore, Maryland. I have a photography tip for you today, a tip that it's not about technique and it's not about skill and it's not about talent and it's not about menu diving and it's not about settings and it's not about the gear you use or your attitude or your philosophy or your dedication or any of that stuff. It's one of the simplest things in the world. In fact, I think it's probably the most basic and maybe even the absolutely first thing you should learn about photography that I never hear hardly anyone ever talk about. I've never seen another photographer do a video on it. I've seen the topic come up, but that topic is going to be eye dominance. And this is going to apply to some of you, not all of you. Most of you are probably already using your right eye, which is your dominant eye. And but some of you may be left-eyed out there and not aware of it. Or maybe you assume you're left-eyed because you're left-handed and not aware of it. And maybe you should be using your right eye. But real quick, what is eye dominance? Eye dominance, this is AI. I'm not going to lie. I'm reading straight from it. Eye dominance, or ocular dominance, the natural tendency of the brain to prefer visual input from one eye over the other, similar to being right or left-handed. The dominant eye provides greater accuracy for tasks requiring aim, such as shooting, photography, or sports. Most people are right eye dominant. Now, and also most folks that are left-handed are going to be left eye dominant. Most folks that are right-handed are going to be right eye dominant. Or you might be like me, or in this regard, you might be like me, where I'm right-handed and I'm left eye dominant, which is known as cross dominance. And there's some problems with that. But where does this come into play in photography? It's very difficult to put your finger on, but it's kind of a major issue. If you're someone who's been trying for a while, or there's something, you can't quite put your finger on it, but you can't seem to connect through the camera. You're not connecting through the lens. The thing you thought was going to work out isn't working out there, and you don't know what you're doing. You're doing everything right, or you're doing everything wrong consistently, but you're getting this wrong result based on your input. And what happens when you're not using your dominant eye is that it's going to be more difficult for you to accurately assess or perceive focusing and composition. And that sounds like a lot of nuance to it, but it's focusing and composition are going to be more difficult to do consistently and accurately with the correct feedback from your camera. Now, obviously, this does not apply to you if you only have one functional eye, and there's a lot of folks out there that are. They're blind in one eye or literally only have one eye, and they're photographers. They're out there. Or if you only use the screen. If you compose and shoot through the screen all the time, which I never do, not that relevant to you, but it'll be smarty pants knowledge that you can share with others and look like a big shot smarty pants. And some people don't have a dominant eye. That's very rare, but, you know, good for you. You're perfect. But the rest of us, you might be shooting with the wrong eye, and it's a big deal. Now, for me, again, being cross-dominant, it gets a little funny because I have to cross over, and cameras are designed for right-handed, right-eyed people. They're designed for you to shoot like this. I have to shoot a little funky. I have to cross over here. I'm in this position instead of this position with this eye nice and free. I got a little bit of blockage, and I have to do that. But this is the eye I want to be seeing through when I'm using that viewfinder. It makes a difference. Trust me, it makes a difference. And if there's that one little thing you can't figure out what it is, I don't know. So how do you determine which eye you're dominant in? What's your dominant eye? It's actually a very, very tiny, easy thing to do. There's something called the Miles test. I didn't look it up. I know it's called the Miles test. I don't know if it's named after the person or it's about looking miles. But all you're going to do is you're going to form a triangle with your hands like that. You can do it like that. You can cross over a little bit. You can do it nice and neat, but make a triangle. And you're going to choose an object a little bit of a distance away from you, somewhere across the room, something like a doorknob or a clock on the wall or the mannequin head or the teddy bear or the mannequin head. And you're going to open both eyes. I'm going to demonstrate this graphically as well, and center it in that triangle. Center something through that triangle. And you're going to look through with both eyes, centered, and they're going to close one eye. I'm going to close my right eye. That object's still centered. Open both eyes again. It's still centered in that triangle. But then I'm going to close my left eye. And what happened? Whoa, Daddy! It shoots off to the right. So the eye that can remain open, that's your dominant eye. If it stays centered in there. Yeah, it's kind of screws with your head the first time you do that and you realize it. If you've never done that before, you're like, what the hey? But that dominant eye, the other, is sort of using your other eye as just backup. It aids it. It's less accurate, but your brain's saying that's center. That's what center is. So visually again, both eyes open. Those are your eyes. This is the triangle. This is the object. And the object stays centered. And for me, here, over here, just left eye open. That's just the left eye open. No eye over here. Object still pretty much centered. It's actually slightly off for me. But there it is. But when I close my left eye and only look through my right eye, I get this. It wackadoos all the way to the right. So give that a shot. Test it out a few times. It's a fun party trick. But I'll tell you which eye to use. And unfortunately, and I'm sorry to say this, if you're like a right-handed, right-eyed person and you're finding out it's your left eye and your left eye dominant, I suggest you're making that switch to shooting with your left eye. And again, it's going to be a difficulty because these cameras, they're made for right-handed, right-eyed people. And the major one is if you shoot with the screen. I don't use the screen when I shoot. I barely even review when I'm shooting unless there's some real settings, but I'm not constantly in here. I don't rely upon it to do focus points or settings or whatnot or menu. I don't do that while I'm out and about, typically. There's always exceptions. But if it's a touch screen and you're shooting left-eyed, that schnoz, this is your schnoz, can definitely mess with the screen. So if you have a way to lock your screen out or a quick button to switch between EVF and this, if you need to do that, you're probably going to need to do that if you're switching to left eye. And there might be some folks that are left-handed left-eyed or left-handed assuming that they're left-eyed. They're going to find out they're right-eyed, which may work out better for them. They may think, oh, I don't have to do this anymore. I can go over here. But yeah, find out your dominant eye. Use that little trick. Use this Miles test. Use that Miles test. Find out what's going on. Which eye are you? And I think you're going to be very, very happy if you make the switch to your dominant eye, if you didn't know already, or if you're running into other people who don't know. And I more than a few times I've mentioned it to other photographers, and they had no idea that there was even a dominant eye or what theirs was. And it turns out they're right-handed, right-eyed. It doesn't matter to them. But somewhere between 10% of the population are going to be left-eye dominant. And a certain amount of them are going to be cross-dominant, like me. So I hope this helps you out. I hope you liked this video. If you do like this video, depending on what platform you're on, or subscribe to this video. Hell, you can share it too. But thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this was helpful to you. Eye dominance, it's important. It's the most basic thing. It's about the eye. The eye. It is photography. Use the right eye. Do it.